Good day to all our viewers out there. My name is Heinrich Neetling and welcome to Mathematical Literacy. In today's lesson, we will focus on the topic of measurement integrated with finance, meaning we'll be doing some cost calculation. But before I start with our lesson, let me share something which I found interesting with you. Did you know that every construction project is unique? Which is why construction cost estimation must be carried out individually for each project. Inaccurate estimation and calculation can therefore be detrimental for construction projects. So it's important to create estimates as accurately as possible. Alright, so guys, what are the lesson objectives? So by the end of this lesson, you should be able to define, distinguish, and to calculate perimeter or circumference, area, surface area, and volume as well. You must also be able to distinguish between diameter and radius, distinguish between different dimensions, right? Whether it's length, breadth, width, height, so that will all be applicable in today's lesson. You must be able to use appropriate formulae successfully, okay? And then very key to our lesson today, you must be able to perform cost calculations based on measurement. So those are our lesson objectives. Now let's look at other important information, okay, for today's lesson. As I've already indicated, the focus of our lesson is measurement, right? Integrated with finance. So we'll start off by looking at some explanation and then we'll be doing some examples. Now let's look at important wording, right? Definition, language that will help us in today's lesson. First up, I've indicated that your breadth or width is how wide something is, all right? Then in terms of length, length is the measurement between 2 points in a straight line. For example, the length of your bedroom. Okay, then in terms of height, height is the measurement of someone or something from head to toe or foot or from base to top. Then also important when we work with circular objects, we know the diameter is a straight line, right? Passing through the center of a circle and touching the circle at both ends, right? Thus dividing our circle into two equal parts. Then when we refer to the radius, we say it's the distance, right, from the center of the circle to any point on the circumference of that specific circle. Okay, then we normally refer to the diameter or the radius as half of your diameter. Then also important, guys, is still with circular objects, we know pi, okay? So pi is value 3,141,592,645 followed by lots of other numbers, but we're going to use the approximate value of 3,142. So remember, in our lesson today, we will use pi as 3,142. Now let's start off by testing what you should know at this moment in time, right? And we call this a quick pre-knowledge practice. And I want you to answer these questions to the best of your abilities. So question 1 says define, right, the term circumference. Okay, so we're going to keep it simple. In simple words, circumference, right, it refers to the total distance, right? It's the total distance around a circular object. Okay, so I'm going to indicate it like that. Circumference, right, it's the total distance around a circular object. We also say that circumference is the perimeter of a circular object. Okay, so that's the answer to our first question. Let's now move on to question number 2. Here we are saying choose the correct answer. Okay, so the formula for calculating profit, remember, coupled with measurement, we'll be looking at finances today. So which formula is the correct one? Profit equals income minus expenses, or profit equals your selling price minus your cost price. I agree with you. In order to determine profit, we'll take our income minus our expenses. All right, so that is the correct formula, A, for calculating the profit. Okay, guys, let us now look at question number 3. So at question number 3, we are saying here that show by means of calculation that the volume of a cylinder with a diameter of 10 centimeters, right, and a height of 25 centimeters equals 1,963.75 cubic centimeters. I also indicated here that we may use the following formula: volume equals pi multiplied by radius squared multiplied by height. Okay, so I already have the correct formula. I'm just going to substitute now. So I know we're going to use the approximate value of 3,142, that's for pi, multiplied by our radius. Now please note, we indicated the diameter, right, of 10 centimeters. I'm going to use half of that. So therefore, I will indicate the radius then is 5 centimeters, and I'm going to square that value. Multiplied by my height of 25 centimeters. Now let's key that in on our calculator. 3.142 multiplied by 5 squared multiplied by 25. Guys, so when I simplify this is what I see on my calculator: 1,963.75, and remember it's volume, so I indicate my unit as cubic centimeters. Guys, so based on our calculation, can you see we proved that this is indeed the correct volume for this cylinder. Okay, let us look at one more question. Question number 4, it says calculate the unit cost, right? Remember, unit referred to one. If the material is sold as or at 135 Rand 99 cents per 5 meters squared. Okay, so let's look at it. So I will take my 135 Rand and 99 cents and I will divide that, okay, by the 5 square meters, right? So what will that give us? So I'm actually calculating what it will cost me per meter, right? Not per 5 square meters, okay? So per square meter it will be 135.99 divided by my 5. So that will give me a cost of 27 Rand. So it will give us 27,198, right? So we know money, we will round off to 2 decimal places. So that will be 27 Rand and 20 cents, right? So this will be per square meter. Guys, are we fine? So the unit cost is therefore then 27 Rand and 20 cents. Guys, let us now move on by looking at other important language, right? So first up, I've indicated here that perimeter or circumference, it is the total distance of the outside of a shape or the continuous line forming the boundary of a closed geometric figure. Right, how do we calculate perimeter? In this case, it's calculated by adding the lengths of each side of a shape, right? And it's measured in millimeters, centimeters, meters, or kilometers. Remember, when we calculate circumference, we say circumference equals pi multiplied by your diameter. Or we can say it's 2 times pi times radius, for example. That's in terms of perimeter. Then when we look at area or surface area, I've indicated here that area is the surface enclosed by the boundary lengths of a 2-dimensional figure. Then total surface area, right, is the total exterior area of all the exposed surfaces of a 3D object. So I'm sure you can see now area, when is it applicable? When we work with a 2-dimensional figure, and then total surface area will be applicable when we work with the surfaces of a 3-dimensional object. Okay, and the units for both is either millimeters squared, centimeters squared, meters, and so forth. Then, lastly, we'll be looking at volume. I've indicated that volume is the 3-dimensional space occupied by either a gas, a liquid, or it can be a solid substance as well. The word capacity also refers to volume. Then the unit we use for solid volume is, for example, cubic millimeters, cubic centimeters, cubic kilometers, and so forth. And then in terms of our liquid volume, we refer to it as milliliters, liters, or kiloliters. Guys, let us take a quick advert break. After the break, we'll put all of this into context. See you after the break.